Okay, welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Mastery Project. Today I have Gayle Chapiel with me, and Gayle is a life mastery consultant. And the reason I have Gayle on with us today is uh, this has to do with everything I do. Is like have people talk about where they got to like a fork in the road and how they got out of it or how they got through it or what they did. Because the more we hear about that, the better it is for everyone listening. And I know a lot of people are asking about, um, how do I get through this? How do I get through that? Do you know someone who did that? So I brought on Gayle today, and I will let you introduce yourself. Introduce yourself, Gayle. Go ahead.
Thank you, Al. Nice to be here today. I am
Thanks.
excited to work with you and the listening audience. And yeah, I'm a life mastery consultant. I've worked with the Brave Thinking Institute, who did the certification for me. And that's exactly what I focus on is people that are in a phase of life where there's a transition pending, whether it's something they chose or something that someone else chose for them. And I help people navigate that.
Yeah. And so people go through a lot of sometimes we bring the phase of life on ourselves onto ourselves, and sometimes they're just thrown into it. So I'm kind of curious a little bit about your story. What's How did this come about for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Thanks, Al. So, like I said, we've talked about it. We all do some form of planning for our lives and our future, and whether that be careers or families or long weekends. And there was one particular weekend in our lives, my husband and I, and it was happened to be Labor Day weekend in Calgary, and it was a warm, sunny weekend, which doesn't always happen in Alberta. But this weekend, as it turned out, we were sitting in a hospital. My husband had been hurt in a vehicle accident. And so, everyone else was living the life that they planned, the script that they planned that long weekend, and our plan had been destroyed, literally. So we were sitting in the hospital 10 days earlier. My husband Terry had his crash with a vehicle, and it became very evident to me that our whole world had changed, and it was a real awakening for me. It's like when you know that it's almost like all the noise stops and then you have a before and an after situation, and that was that moment for me. So looking at Terry laying there in the hospital bed and everyone else is going on with their long weekend, I realized we have to change some things. Our life has now been, rearranged completely. And that transition for us wasn't a choice, but we have choices around that transition, what we're planning to do and what we will do about that. And so at that moment in that hospital room, I thought to myself, we're going to be okay. I promise myself we're going to do something and be okay here. I don't kind of know what it is quite yet. But what I did find out very quickly thereafter was that desire for me to say that we're going to be okay. It's not easy to navigate, and we had to completely rearrange and re-engineer our lives, including our environment for my husband to come home. The resources obviously needed overhauling because we weren't planning, there wasn't a budgetary line for a vehicle crash in our budget, and more importantly, our psychology, honestly, completely rewiring our mindset to embrace a future that we really didn't ask for. So what I realized, on going on as Terry got home and we started to get into a normal routine, whatever that was, the new normal, I didn't have a guide to figure out how to manage all of this. And it took a few years for me to get my way through some of that without a mentor, a guide, a coach, anybody. It was a struggle. There was things that we could have done differently that we didn't. But for me, that was a real awakening. And so then I started, I knew we needed some changes and primarily finances at that time to get things situated again, to navigate the rest of our healthcare lives, and things like that. So I tried different avenues to make money. We did different things and different, we tried this and we tried that, and none of it really stuck. And then I stumbled across this Mary Morrissey, the Brave Thinking Institute online. The algorithm always serves you what you need to see or what you want to see in some cases. And that stopped me. Mary had a program called the Eight Spiritual Secrets for multiplying your money, basically, is what she called it. And I took that one. It was an 8-week course, and it helped me understand, you know what, there's some options here to get some mentorship and do things. And so, of course, at the end of that program, she did offer another opportunity, and it was to become a life coach. And I looked at that and I thought, I can't be doing this. We're navigating. I'm a sole proprietor. Was a massage therapist at the time, so I was working full time doing that. Terry was trying to get his legs back under him and have some sort of a new normal. And I thought, I'm not ready, and I cannot do another life coaching or another program or anything at that point. So a few more years went by. We're still searching. We're still trying to figure this out. And ultimately, that coaching kept surfacing. That opportunity for a life coach kept surfacing in my life. Didn't want to go away for some reason. So I didn't close the door then. I looked at where we were, I looked at what we had, and I again made a decision. We're gonna take this on and figure something out here. And that's exactly why I'm here today, because 20 years ago when Terry got hurt standing in that or sitting in the hospital room, it was like if I'd have known 20 years ago, just get some help, get a mentor, get a coach, get someone to help you navigate through this. It would have saved a lot of time on my part to figure this out. So that's why we have this 12-week program, and that's why I teach the course now, the Brave Thinking Institute. It's a repeatable, reliable, repeatable system to help people navigate change and navigate that new phase of life that you can find your true passion, what you really do love to do, and I can help you navigate through that and get closer much quicker to that dream that you're thinking about.
Okay, wow. So I wrote down a couple of things, but as you go through this, as you're talking about it, because you have your massage therapist before, and that I know you do coaching a little bit, right? Coaching when people come in. You listen to a lot of stuff, probably, or help people let go of their stuff. So there's a reason that you got pulled towards that also.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. What I didn't connect the dots at the time was I already was having, conversations with people that were coming in for massage therapy, and I was ill-equipped to help them with their mental, strategy and their mental mindset. I wasn't a psychologist. I hadn't taken any training in counseling or any of those things. And I would honestly refer people out sometimes because they would come in for their pain, their muscle pain, and really it was head trauma and head pain that was holding them back. If they were able
Uh,
to clear that, then the muscle pain would disappear. So I actually referred people out, sometimes go see a counselor or things like that. And what I didn't realize at the time was this was exactly the same thing. It was my mindset that needed to change and shift due to circumstance and situation and condition with our trauma. And so really it was almost predestined that I would end up, as a life coach at some point, just because I saw the gap that I couldn't help with the people that were coming in for muscle work or massage therapy. And I realized, there is in my life a gap in the mental health and mental attitude and all of those things that needed to shift too. So it was predestined to some degree.
and there's also like a decision point. Sometimes it takes a while to make that decision because sometimes it's money, but it's not always money. It's like, am I going to do this? Am I going to actually do the work? Am I ready to do the work? And is this the right person for me? And
Absolutely.
and we want to try to figure it out,
Yeah, you're
right?
right.
Like, um, and I've done, I think, a lot of those different scenarios. Just like sometimes, like, yeah, okay, now today I'm a lot easier. I'm like, okay, this I'll observe the person for a while and go like, I think they can help me. But a lot, when you got little kids at home, and you want to make sure, because these uh, you make sure you put your money at the right place, right? Um,
Right.
and I don't question that much anymore, because I've gotten to a point, like, it's helped me so much to make me independent, right? And I know, so, like, we're talking about your program, and you did talk about, there's four quadrants, I think, right? Maybe you
Right.
could talk about that, because everybody coming to you is going to have different reasons. So, yeah, go ahead, please.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. And I just wanted to mention you are on something there, Al, that really is. Most people won't make a change because you can navigate life. You can get through. You may not be happy. It might not be what you would consider a perfect life, a life that you would love, as we call it. But you can navigate through that until you end up with what we did, which was what we call an emotional impact. And as soon as that happens, then you're willing to do something different. You've got to find your way out of this and find a way to
Yeah.
make life easier. And so that's what we ended up with, is an emotional impact. It was a trauma in our lives, and things shifted very quickly. So yeah, what we do at this point, what I'm able and privileged to help people with is we navigate those particular traumas or emotional impacts, and typically they will fall into one of four areas of our life, because our life is so dynamic and so intricate that you can't take all the changes on at once. You have to, Mary, at 55 years of experience, has decided that we need to section our lives off a little bit into four quadrants. And I help you with that, to pick the quadrant that's more important for you at this moment. And then we teach you and facilitate a way to work with that quadrant and make it better than it was. So we've got the health and well-being quadrant, and that quadrant, and we know it, we're very aware of this, my husband and I, that health and well-being sets you up to fulfill the other quadrants of your life, because without your health, it's really hard to do anything else in your life. So that's a fairly important quadrant, but some folks are really quite healthy, and they're navigating the love and relationships quadrant, for instance, and that could include life partners, family, friends. It could be relationships that are broken, or that you really just have a desire to deepen those relationships. And so some people want to navigate through that and have some enlightenment there. The other couple of quadrants, the one is vocation, career. What do you do with your time and your talent, knowing that it probably is your true purpose, and doing something with your time and your talent that you love and is difference making is quite helpful for people and quite satisfying for people to work in that quadrant sometimes. And then there's the time and money freedom quadrant, and that's the ability to do and have and be and go anywhere and anything you desire, and not have the limitations of your time, your calendar that's jammed up with calls and meetings, or the money to actually go and do the thing with the family that you really do want to do. So yeah, we help you define these quadrants, understand the quadrants, and then all of this 12-week program that we teach, that I teach, is really, it's intuitive. It's your infinite intelligence that tells you which quadrant is most important for you to work on at this time. And then the answers will come to you in those quadrants, with a little bit of guidance and a little bit of mentorship and coaching from the 12-week program. We have exercises and programs and homework that we want to help you understand what you're looking at, what you're thinking about in that quadrant, and then the inspiration will come.
Yeah, like, so you're a couple points about that. So there's different ways to coach, but it comes down to what you're saying is, like, um, we often don't make a decision because we're not sure if it's going to work. We're not sure if we could trust ourselves. And working with a coach, you get that support where someone is kind of mirroring things off of you in a way, or for you, so that you can go, oh, I didn't realize I was thinking about it this way or that way. I'm just going to bring up a scenario also, because um, my question is, will be, I'll just bring up the scenario, but my question will be, um, what phase of life do you normally deal with who people come see you? Because I had 20 years ago, a little more, I had a girlfriend. I was 33 or 34. She was 12 years older, and he had going through a divorce, had 5 kids, and never had her own bank account, and didn't have her own credit score, like hadn't built that up, right? So, like, I'm wondering, is it people who what phase of life are they in? Because what I'm saying, whether she was in her 40s, I know there's people in their 60s and 70s who they live like that too, and they feel like they can't make that decision. Where do they go? So it's kind of the question I'm asking you, who you deal with.
Yeah, there's a couple good points there, Al. You're right. This program, just to go back a little bit, this program, this 12-week program, it's the coaching, the way I coach this program is really we tap into your awareness and your infinite intelligence. So the program is shines when it brings out your awareness that you were thinking of this from this angle, and really you see a different angle to think of something about now. So it actually shines when it brings out your awareness and your own infinite. That comes from your own infinite intelligence, and so your intuition. And so we tap into that. We have tools and homework and things to help you actually tap into your own infinite wisdom. And that's what this program does, is it shines. And that's why it's a proven, reliable, and repeatable system, so that when you work with the one quadrant for a little while, then you can actually apply this to all the other quadrants in your life as you see the results and see the improvement in that quadrant. So what we do is I work with people that want to transition, whether it was forced on them, whether the phase was something that they weren't expecting, or like I said, an emotional impact, or just anyone that really is wondering, what are the next steps for me? Like I said, if you were, basically your own hospital room and your own spot of sitting there thinking, what's next? What do we do next? If you're sitting in your own version of that hospital, feeling overwhelmed by change and in that transition, unsure of what comes next, that's your turning point. That's your emotional impact, or your spot where you, like you said before, Al, you make the decision to say, I want to live the life that I want to live and that I love, and I will do something different than I'm doing. And lots of people turn to mentorship or help or coaching at that point to say, yeah, I want to navigate through this. And like I said, it'll save a lot of time, a lot of energy on your part trying to figure it out on your own. It's a huge game changer for most of the clients that we have the privilege of working with.
Yeah, because I was going to take it back to in the beginning, but you brought it there. It's because you said I made a decision to do this, and then I decided this, and I decided this, and then people are like, before you decided, there's that, it's kind of overwhelming, and you got to figure it out. So what if someone can't decide? What do you suggest if they're unable to go? I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't decide if this program is good for me, or if this program or a program. How do I decide? I've never had to decide before. Someone did it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's true. And sometimes it's all of a sudden you have this awareness or awakening saying, you know what, I'm not making the decisions in my life. What I tell people is I help you define your vision and design the life that you truly love living. And so what we do is I just simply jump on a call with you and talk to you about that and say, what do you truly want? What, is your situation, your circumstance or condition, and what do you truly want? And we find out if this makes sense for you to actually join the program and have some decision making for yourself and have some awarenesses that you probably haven't come to or will get to because you haven't gotten there now with the things you have been doing, because we only are operating at the level of awareness that we have. And so when someone opens up new information or new things, or questions some of the things that the belief system we have inside ourselves, and starts to ask some questions around, is that truly what you believe? Suddenly it opens up a whole new, awareness. And so really all that is done on a what I call a clarity call. You just jump on a call with me for about 30 minutes and we go through some of those things, and it'll help give you clarity. Again, we're working with your intuition, with your infinite wisdom. So once you have a little bit more information around what you're looking to do and what I know the program can do for people, then you have some clarity and you'll know what the next step is intuitively.
Okay, good. We'll add your information to the description later. Yeah. So if anyone's listening, they can look in the description if they want to contact you. Um, I think when you talk with someone, because I know if I think in my head, I get certain answers. If I write it down, I will get more. If I'm talking to someone who's been there, then they've gone to certain points that I haven't, and then they could kind of like, oh, do this, do that sort of deal. Um, so I think that's important to support, and I really believe in it, and that's what I do. Uh, that's how I got here today, and what I do. Just gonna look at my notes, but is there something that you wanted more to say? Like, is there anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, it's just about, again, it's about if you're comfortable in where you are, but you know there's more for you. You know you could contribute more in your life and to the lives of those you care about, and you just don't know where that is or how that is or what the next step is to find that more, that purpose that you're not fulfilling right now. That's where we shine. That's where we come in and start to help give you some clarity around some of that. And you're right, Al, you're absolutely right. Think about it, write it down, what you, again, at your level of awareness, what you believe is to be true, and then find someone to talk to, and Al and myself can talk to you about it and gain more clarity from a new perspective. And that usually helps you make decisions as to what the next steps for you would be.
Okay, I was looking at my notes, and you said we're going to be okay. That's
Yeah,
the point. That's when things change, right? Oh, we're going to be okay,
yeah.
because there are things uh, that come up, and we're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and then eventually you figure it out, or you part of figuring it out is talking with someone else, and that helps to get you to that point that yeah, life is going to be okay. Once you get through it, you realize okay, as you let go of it, there's other things that come along, and you get better and better and better at moving through those. At first, it's a bit tough. Maybe it depends on what the situation is. So, just want to know it's about being okay. That's
Absolutely. I read a mentor said something one time about successful people don't delay their decisions. They make a decision and they make that decision okay. So once you've made a committed decision, we're going to be okay, or whatever that is for you, you'll find a way and you'll find evidence that that will be the case. And so your mind will work on that. And what I have learned over my journey is there's a lot of value in getting some mentorship around that and circumventing all the pitfalls and all the things that you're going to have to navigate to be okay and to get to that next level. With some mentorship, we can help quite a bit in that realm and get you on your way to your next level of okay, whatever that is for you.
okay. All right. Well, I thank you, Gayle. I thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and that is it for today's podcast. Bye bye.
Bye bye.